Welcome to the next installment of Bible Engagement Coaching. We took the weekend off and we're going to start off this week. Remember what the goal is. The goal is daily Bible engagement as a lifestyle because studies have shown it is the single best thing that you can do if you want to grow spiritually. And we use the word engagement very much on purpose because we have to think of our Bible reading not as just Bible reading. This is actually interacting with the Lord. I basically like to think of it this way. Prayer shouldn't be just you talking to God. It should be God talking to you, and the Bible is the number one way God has chosen to speak back to us. And so that's what responsible and really enriching Bible engagement is always going to be. It's giving Jesus the chance to speak into your life. And what we're doing is we're owning the book of 2 John. And I talked a lot more about habits and just good practices around Bible engagement last week. What I want to do this week is actually go into the text of 2 John. Now, your assignment was to read through the book of 2 John. I was hoping you would do it each day. You can. That's what I've been doing. It takes like a minute or two. It's a very, very short book, and that was on purpose, if you'll remember. And what I was hoping you would look for is the flow of thought. We said, be honest, pay attention, listen, engage with what's going on. Watch for the subjects that surface to the very top. Listen for it and just kind of learn how he's speaking and what he's speaking. And then what will happen is these subjects and these terms and these ideas will surface up in your mind. And they'll be the kinds of things oftentimes that you don't normally think about. You're not just at first you may think they're irrelevant, but the more you engage with them and pray about them and look at them and try to understand them, the more relevant they will become. But they'll be relevant in a way that you don't expect. And the first line is very much that way. The very first line, it comes out and it says, the elder to the chosen lady. Now, the way they used to do letters back in those days is actually superior to how we do it. We have the person who's writing sign at the end. They would have the person that's writing sign at the beginning. That way you would know who's sending it. So this person that's the elder, there's a strong school of thought that says this is the Apostle John, the same writer as the Gospel of John and also the book of 1 John and 3 John. So there is some debate. You need to be aware of that some think the elder might be a different John than John the Apostle that hung out with Jesus personally. I think it is the original John, but he called himself the elder. An elder is a leader in a church, and he says, to the lady chosen by God and to her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all who know the truth. Now, you need to know, and if you looked into background on this, there's a question that comes right out of the gate. This doesn't always happen with Bible engagement, but who's the lady? What does that even mean? And there's two schools of thought on that. The lady could be a literal, actual lady who was the leader of a church. There's one school of thought that says that. Others say that the lady is another name for church, and there is some evidence around that. The word for church in the Greek is related to the word for lady in the Greek as well, and so it could be just another name. I personally lean towards an actual lady that was a leader of a house church and her children, because Paul and other church leaders refer to people in their church that they're charged with leading as their children. And so it's very, very possible that this was a lady he was in. That's what I do. Now, a quick note on that. Not all Bible books are this way. There are controversies, obviously, and that'll surface. When you do have this happen, usually you can see commentaries. I'm going to let you in on a resource tomorrow that's free. It's online. It's easy to go to the background of stuff like this. You'll want to make yourself kind of aware of these subjects, and you can pick a lane. The thing about it is, no one can prove whether it's a lady that was a leader or if it was the church. There's just evidence, and you kind of weigh it out, and you pick a side, or don't pick. It doesn't really matter in the end. But what you don't want to do is say, well, what it means to me is this. Because what it means to you is not the first obligation. That's what we said before. It's about honesty. It's about going to the text and letting the text speak. And what you want to do with the text is you want to ask questions like, okay, who's writing the book? The elder in this case, a leader. Who's he writing to? He's writing either a letter or to a leader or a church. Kind of a combination of both. So you know that. What's the situation that he's writing to? And learn that. And then what are the themes that he's writing about? In other words, like we said, pay attention, listen, be honest, and then engage about that. Now listen what he says in the first paragraph. He says, whom I love in the truth, and not only I, but also all who know the truth. Now, if you've read the book a few times through, you know that truth is a major theme. It's a thing he talks about a lot. I would say truth and love are the two most common ones. Well, here's some ways to think about that. What does he mean by the truth? Why does the truth matter so much? What is truth? How do I define truth? Do I understand what the Bible means when it says the truth? In our day and age, is there such a thing as real truth beyond just a person's experience? Is there such a thing as live your truth? I've heard that said a lot. That's becoming increasingly popular. What does he mean by the truth? And what can I learn about the truth? In other words, great Bible engagement is asking the right questions and then seeking. You got to seek it like treasure. You got to kind of wonder about it, mull over it. Like we said, be honest. Ask God all those kinds of questions. What do you mean by truth? Show me the truth. Help me to understand truth in my own life. And as you get that theme, it might be one of those things that you don't normally think about, but that's the point. That's how you grow. You grow by thinking thoughts you don't normally think. You don't want life just to be this continual, feedback loop in your own head. That's why we engage the Bible. It's one of the many reasons. So today, just kind of think about truth. Think about what you think about. Is it a lady or is it a leader? Is it a church? And then we'll pick it up tomorrow.